the hidden warning signs in your skin. At first, it was just a slight itch behind Barbara's ear. She thought it was dry skin, or maybe a reaction to a new shampoo. But over the next few weeks, the itch came back again and again, always in the same spot. Then other symptoms started. Fatigue, a strange yellowing of her eyes. By the time Barbara saw a doctor, she was diagnosed with early-stage liver disease. And the only symptom she had felt for months? That persistent itch. If you're over 60, you may notice your body changing in subtle ways. An occasional ache here, a stiffness there, or maybe an itch that just won't go away. While most people think itching is harmless, just dry skin or something you brushed against, what if your body was trying to warn you of something deeper? In this video, we're going to uncover 5 specific places on your body where itching can be a silent alarm. These itches aren't random. In fact, they could be the earliest signs of liver problems, diabetes, heart disease, or even certain cancers. Especially as we age, our skin often tells a story long before blood tests or scans reveal anything. The key is knowing what to look for and what not to ignore. If you're someone who tends to brush off itching as nothing serious, think again. One spot could be the clue that saves your life. So stay with us until the end, because the final spot we reveal is often overlooked, yet frequently associated with serious internal conditions. And before we begin, make sure to like this video and subscribe for weekly health content designed specifically for seniors and their families. If you or someone you love is over 60, these signs are not something to dismiss. Your skin may be whispering what your body's too tired to shout. Let's decode the message. Number 1. Itching on the back. Could it be your liver crying for help? It started with a gentle itch between the shoulder blades. Harmless at first, just a small irritation. But over weeks, it grew worse. No rash, no allergy. Just a persistent, invisible itch that seemed to come from deep under the skin. For 67-year-old Lorraine, it wasn't just discomfort, it was a sign of something far more serious. And she wasn't alone. If you're over 60 and experience itching on your back, especially your upper back, without an obvious cause, it might be time to listen closely, because your body could be whispering a warning from your liver. The skin is more than just a protective barrier. It's also a messengerone that often speaks before deeper problems show up in lab reports or scans. And when it comes to liver health, itching, also known as pruritus, is one of the earliest and most overlooked symptoms, especially when it starts around the back, arms, or even the palms and soles. The connection lies in bile. Your liver produces bile to help digest fats and flush out toxins. But when the liver isn't functioning well, due to conditions like fatty liver disease, hepatitis, or bile duct blockages, this bile can build up in your bloodstream. And once it circulates through your body, it starts to irritate nerve endings under the skin. The result? A maddening itch, often on the back where the skin is thin and nerve endings are sensitive. In many older adults, especially those with prediabetes, high cholesterol, or a history of heavy medication use, the liver quietly struggles for years before any major symptoms emerge. That's why something as seemingly innocent as back itch deserves attention, especially if it's accompanied by other subtle signs: fatigue, yellowing of the eyes, dark urine, or light-colored stools. Let's go back to Lorraine. Her itch had gotten so bad that she'd started using a back scratcher day and night. Nothing relieved it, not lotions, not cold compresses, not antihistamines. Eventually, her daughter convinced her to see a doctor. After a few blood tests, the truth was revealed: early-stage primary biliary cholangitis, a liver disease that causes bile to back up into the body. The good news? Because it was caught early, lifestyle changes and medication helped slow the progression dramatically. If you're dealing with unexplained itching on your back, don't brush it off as dry skin or aging. Look for patterns. Is it worse at night? Is there no visible rash? Is it paired with unusual fatigue or changes in digestion? If yes, it's worth getting a liver function test. A simple blood test could give you clarity and maybe save your life. And while medical diagnosis is critical, there are natural steps you can take to support your liver right now. Eat liver-friendly foods like leafy greens, turmeric, beets, and lemons. Avoid alcohol and processed foods that tax the liver. Stay hydrated. Your liver needs water to flush toxins. Consider adding dandelion root tea or milk thistle, but only after talking to your doctor. Your back may be hard to reach, but your health shouldn't be. If your body is sending a signal, don't ignore it. Because when the liver speaks through the skin, it's not just itching, it's a cry for attention. Number 2, itching on the feet. Imagine this. It's a peaceful evening, and you've just sat down to relax when suddenly you feel that familiar, relentless itching on the soles of your feet. You scratch a little, thinking it's dry skin or maybe your socks, but it keeps returning. Over time, the itching becomes more intense and nagging, distracting, even painful. Most people brush it off as nothing serious, but for seniors, especially those over 60, itching on the feet can be much more than just a skin-level issue. In fact, it can be an early sign that something deeper is going wrong inside the body, especially related to blood sugar, circulation, or nerve health. Let's take a closer look. The skin on our feet is often the first place where signs of poor circulation or high blood sugar begin to show up. This is why persistent itching in this area should never be ignored. One of the most common causes among older adults is diabetic neuropathy, a nerve condition triggered by high blood sugar levels over time. When blood sugar stays elevated, it can damage tiny blood vessels that feed your nerves, especially in your extremities. The result? Tingling, numbness, and itching. That seemingly innocent itch on your foot could be your body waving a red flag. Consider the case of Thomas, a 68-year-old retired electrician. He didn't know he had type 2 diabetes. For months, he complained about phantom itching on his feet. He tried changing shoes, foot creams, powders, nothing worked. It wasn't until a routine checkup that his doctor decided to run blood tests. The results were clear. His blood sugar was dangerously high, and nerve damage had already begun. That itching sensation? It was one of the first signs. Fortunately, Thomas was able to make lifestyle changes and start treatment before things got worse. But not everyone catches it in time. Another hidden culprit behind itchy feet in seniors is poor circulation, especially due to peripheral artery disease, PAD. As we age, arteries can narrow or harden, reducing blood flow to the legs and feet. This lack of oxygenated blood causes the skin to dry out and become irritated. You might notice your feet feeling colder, weaker, or discolored in addition to the itchiness. These symptoms aren't just uncomfortable, they're dangerous if left untreated. PAD increases the risk of infections, ulcers, and even amputation in severe cases. And then there's the classic but often overlooked problem: fungal infections like athlete's foot. Though not unique to older adults, seniors with weakened immune systems or diabetes are more susceptible. The fungus thrives in warm, moist environments like shoes or public pools. It starts with a mild itch and escalates to cracking, peeling skin, and even blistering. Many dismiss it as a minor skin irritation, but untreated fungal infections can lead to bacterial complications, especially in people with compromised circulation. So, how can you tell what's really going on? Here are a few red flags to watch for. Persistent itching that doesn't go away with moisturizers. Itching paired with numbness, tingling, or burning. Visible skin changes like discoloration, dryness, or peeling. Swelling, cold feet, or weak pulses in the feet. A family or personal history of diabetes or vascular disease. If you're experiencing any of these, it's time to speak with a doctor. Simple tests like blood sugar levels, Doppler ultrasound, or a foot exam can reveal the underlying issue before it turns into something more serious. In the meantime, caring for your feet is crucial. Start by keeping them clean and dry, inspecting them daily for changes, and avoiding tight shoes that cut off circulation. Moisturize regularly, but don't apply lotion between the toes. That area is prone to fungal infections. And if you have diabetes, Check your feet every day, no matter what. Because the truth is, your feet carry you through life. And if they're trying to tell you something, don't wait until it's too late to listen. An itch on the foot might not seem urgent, but for someone over 60, it could be the first clue in a much bigger health story. Number 3. Itching on the scalp. When your brain and skin send you a silent signal. At first, Mildred thought it was just her shampoo. The persistent itching on her scalp didn't seem serious, just a small annoyance she chalked up to dry skin or an allergic reaction. But weeks went by, and nothing changed. No matter what new products she tried, the itching returned, always in the same spot, always during the same part of the day. What she didn't know was that her body wasn't just reacting to a surface problem, it was trying to warn her about something deeper going on inside. It's easy to overlook scalp itching as something minor or cosmetic, but in people over 60, this discomfort can be the surface-level symptom of something more complex. While skin dryness and dandruff are common culprits, persistent scalp itching can also be linked to stress, anxiety, and even early signs of neurological issues like nerve misfiring or inflammation. Let's break it down. One of the leading causes of chronic scalp itch in older adults is chronic stress. As we age, our nervous system becomes more sensitive to internal imbalance. The scalp, with its dense network of nerve endings and blood vessels, is particularly reactive to emotional strain. That tingling, crawling sensation you feel may not be coming from your skin at all, but from an overstimulated nervous system triggered by chronic worry, loneliness, or mental fatigue. For seniors who experience long-term isolation or grief, this kind of psychosomatic symptom can become a recurring issue. Another possible cause is neuropathy, specifically small fiber neuropathy that begins subtly, often with burning, tingling, or itching sensations. The scalp may become hypersensitive even when there's no rash or visible irritation. In some cases, these symptoms appear before more recognizable neurological conditions like Parkinson's or shingles make themselves known. If the itch feels deep, almost beneath the skin, or is accompanied by tingling in other areas like the face, hands, or feet, it may be worth seeing a neurologist for a deeper evaluation. Still, the most common explanation remains seborrheic dermatitis, a form of eczema that affects the scalp, especially in those with weakened immune responses. It causes flaking, redness, and intense itching. But unlike simple dandruff, seborrheic dermatitis often worsens under stress or illness, which is why it's more frequent among older adults and people with chronic conditions like Parkinson's or diabetes. So, how do you tell the difference between a dry scalp and something more concerning? Here are the red flags. The itching is constant and unresponsive to over-the-counter treatments. You notice tingling or burning sensations along with the itch. There are other neurological signs: muscle stiffness, tremors, memory fog. The itch wakes you up at night or worsens during times of emotional stress. And most importantly, if you feel like something just isn't right, trust that instinct. Let's revisit Mildred. After weeks of failed self-treatment, she saw a dermatologist who found nothing wrong with her skin. On referral to a neurologist, they discovered early signs of peripheral neuropathy, a condition that could have gone unnoticed if she hadn't taken her body's warning signs seriously. Early detection allowed her to begin treatment and manage the condition before it impacted her mobility or cognition. If you or a loved one is experiencing chronic scalp itch, don't dismiss it. It could be your body's quiet way of telling you that something needs attention, whether it's emotional stress, nerve damage, or a hidden immune issue. Sometimes, the most ordinary symptoms are the body's most extraordinary messages. Number 4. Itching on the arms. A quiet signal your kidneys may be struggling. When Martha, 69, first noticed the persistent itching on her forearms, she brushed it off. Maybe it was just dry skin or a reaction to her laundry detergent. But weeks passed, and the itch didn't go away. It got worse. What began as a mild irritation soon became a nightly battle, interrupting her sleep, and leaving red marks on her skin. It wasn't until a routine checkup revealed elevated creatinine levels that Martha discovered the truth. Her kidneys weren't functioning as they should. While it's easy to dismiss itching as a minor annoyance, when it happens frequently, especially on the armpit, can be a sign that something deeper is wrong. For seniors over 60, unexplained and persistent itching in this area could indicate early kidney dysfunction or a negative reaction to medications being filtered through already stressed kidneys. Here's why. Your kidneys are responsible for filtering waste products from your blood. When they're working properly, they keep the balance of minerals, electrolytes, and fluids in check. But if kidney function begins to decline, toxins can build up in the bloodstream. One of the first signs of this imbalance? Itchy skin, particularly on the arms, where blood vessels are close to the surface and nerve sensitivity is heightened with age. The arms are especially telling because they're often exposed to light, weather changes, and topical products. However, when itching becomes chronic, affects both arms, and isn't relieved by moisturizers or ointments, it may be time to look inward literally. Seniors often take multiple medications for conditions like high blood pressure, cholesterol, and arthritis. Some of these medications can cause dry skin, allergic reactions, or, more seriously, place additional strain on the kidneys. The condition is known medically as uremic Puritusin itch, associated with a buildup of urea and other waste products in the bloodstream. This type of itch isn't typically caused by external triggers, and it doesn't always come with a rash. It can be strongest at night and may feel like a deep, relentless crawling sensation under the skin, particularly on the arms, back, or chest. Consider the case of Arthur, 72, who had been on a diuretic for his blood pressure. He began experiencing relentless itching just below his elbows. Over time, his kidney function began to decline, and only after adjusting his medication and adding more hydration and skin-supportive nutrients to his diet did the itching begin to subside. If you or a loved one are experiencing this kind of unexplained arm itch, here are a few things to consider. Hydration. Dehydration can make kidney function worse and dry out the skin. Seniors should aim for 6-8 glasses of water daily, unless told otherwise by their doctor. Blood work. Ask your doctor to check creatinine, BUN, and eGFR levels to evaluate kidney health. Medication review. Make sure your medications aren't interacting or overloading your kidneys. Sometimes, even common drugs can be too harsh as we age. Diet support. Add kidney-friendly foods like blueberries, bell peppers, cabbage, and omega-3 rich fish to reduce inflammation and support detoxification. Skin care. Use fragrance-free, gentle moisturizers, and avoid harsh soaps or hot showers, which can strip the skin's barrier and worsen itching. Itching on the arms might not seem like a big deal at first, but in seniors, especially those managing other health conditions, it's a signal worth investigating. By paying attention to these small, unusual signs, you could be catching a much bigger issue before it turns serious. Number 5. Itching around the eyes. Frank sat by the window of his living room, rubbing his eyes for the third time that morning. "It's just the allergies," he mumbled to himself, brushing off the slight swelling and dryness in the corners. But what he didn't realize was that this seemingly small discomfort was part of a much larger conversation his body was trying to have with him. Itching around the eyes is often dismissed as a minor nuisance, something to be blamed on pollen or a dusty room. And while in many cases that's true, for seniors, especially those over 60, persistent eye itching can be much more than an allergic reaction. It can be the body's first alarm bell, hinting at deeper issues that deserve attention. Let's start with the more familiar territory allergies. As we age, our immune systems change. Some seniors develop new sensitivities to environmental triggers like pollen, mold, or even pet dander. When these allergens make contact with the eyes, the immune system responds with inflammation, leading to itching, redness, and tearing. What's tricky is that age-related eye dryness, also very common, can make these symptoms feel even worse. This condition, known as dry eye syndrome, occurs when tear production diminishes or becomes imbalanced. The result? A scratchy, burning sensation that often feels like allergies, but is rooted in reduced lubrication and aging tear ducts. But eye itching doesn't always come from the outside world. Sometimes it's an internal issue like autoimmune diseases or chronic skin conditions such as eczema or seborrheic dermatitis. In older adults, immune dysregulation can trigger systemic inflammation, which may appear first around the most sensitive areas like the eyes. These conditions are often accompanied by flaky skin, redness, or crusting at the eyelid margins. Sadly, they're not just skin deep. Left untreated, these signs can escalate into eye infections or corneal damage. Now here's where things get serious. Chronic itching around the eyes can also be an early red flag for underlying liver issues. The liver plays a crucial role in detoxification, and when it starts to fail either due to fatty liver disease, hepatitis, or bile duct obstruction, itching is one of the earliest symptoms. And where does it often show up first? Around the soft, vascular, rich skin of the eyes. If you or a loved one experiences relentless itching in this area, especially if it comes with yellowing of the eyes, dark urine, or fatigue, don't brush it off. A simple blood test could reveal much more than dry skin. Let's take Evelyn's story as an example. She was 68 when her eye irritation started. She tried antihistamines, changed her laundry detergent, even switched out her eye cream, thinking it was a reaction. But nothing helped. Then her daughter, a nurse, noticed a slight yellow hue in Evelyn's eyes and insisted she visit the doctor. The diagnosis? Early-stage primary biliary cholangitis, a chronic liver condition. Caught early, Evelyn was able to begin treatment and adjust her lifestyle, something that might not have happened if she'd continued ignoring the itch. There is another emotional layer to this story, too. Eyes aren't just a functional part of our body. They are deeply tied to how we perceive and connect with the world. For many seniors, losing clarity of sight or dealing with constant irritation in the eyes feels like losing a part of their independence. It makes them anxious about driving, nervous about reading, and hesitant to participate in conversations or outings. So what can be done? First, don't ignore persistent eye itching, especially if it's localized, severe, or accompanied by changes in vision or skin. Keep a symptom diary. When did it start? Are there triggers? Are there other symptoms, like fatigue or digestive discomfort? Second, consider seeing an ophthalmologist or even your primary care physician. They may run tear film tests, check for eyelid inflammation, or conduct a liver panel if other signs point to systemic concerns. Third, nourish your body with anti-inflammatory foods. Omega-3 rich fish, green leafy vegetables, and citrus fruits support both liver and eye health. Stay hydrated and reduce processed sugar and alcohol intake, which can worsen both skin irritation and liver strain. Lastly, remember that the eyes are a mirror not just to the soul, but to your internal health. If they're itching, burning, or speaking up in other ways, don't silence them. Listen, because sometimes the smallest signals reveal the biggest truths. Bonus tip: the one itch you must never ignore, inside your ears. It's easy to brush off an itch, especially in a place as small and seemingly harmless as inside your ears. But for older adults, persistent itching deep inside the ears could be more than just dry skin or wax buildup. In some cases, it may signal an underlying issue far more serious, like thyroid dysfunction, or even early warning signs of certain cancers. Let's be clear, not every ear itch is a red flag. But when it becomes chronic, appears without any visible irritation, and doesn't go away with cleaning or moisturizing, it's worth paying attention to, especially if it comes alongside other subtle symptoms. Here's why this particular spot matters. The ears are filled with nerve endings and sensitive skin that respond to changes in the body's internal chemistry. When thyroid hormone levels are off, especially in hypothyroidism, it can cause dryness, flakiness, and persistent itchiness inside the ear canal. Many seniors with underactive thyroids report this symptom months before they're even diagnosed. And since thyroid imbalances also affect energy levels, mood, and heart function, early detection could prevent years of silent damage. Even more alarming, recurring inner ear itching, especially if it's accompanied by discharge, pain, or skin changes around the ear, can occasionally point to rare forms of skin cancer like squamous cell carcinoma or basal cell carcinoma. These can begin subtly inside the ear canal or near the outer rim and go unnoticed for years unless looked at carefully. One elderly patient in Ohio shared that his doctor only caught the issue when he insisted on a skin check after noticing a persistent, scaly feeling in his right ear that wouldn't go away. That early diagnosis likely saved his life. So, what should you watch for? Itchiness that doesn't go away even with moisturizing or cleaning. No visible rash, flaking, or cause. Accompanied by hearing changes, swelling, or discharge. Other thyroid signs like fatigue, cold hands, weight changes, or depression. If this sounds familiar, don't ignore it. Talk to your doctor. Ask about a thyroid panel. If there's any visible change in the ear's appearance, request a dermatological exam. Most cases will turn out to be harmless, but the few that aren't could mean the difference between early treatment and something much worse. In our senior years, it's not paranoia, it's proactive health. Remember, your body whispers before it screams, and sometimes that whisper starts with a tiny itch you're tempted to ignore. Don't. Final thoughts. If there's one thing we've learned today, it's this. The power to protect your health, especially after 60, often lies in the little choices you make every day. Choices like what to eat first thing in the morning. Choices that may seem small, but over time, shape your energy, mobility, digestion, and even how long you live with independence and dignity. You've just discovered 5 natural, science-backed food spoons: chia seeds, oatmeal, sweet potatoes, and kefir that can support your body's most essential function, elimination. For many seniors, constipation isn't just uncomfortable, it's exhausting. It drains energy, causes bloating, disrupts sleep, and affects the mood. But here's the empowering truth. Constipation after 60 isn't something you have to accept as normal aging. It's a signal, a sign that your body is asking for support, and now you know exactly how to answer that call. You don't need expensive treatments, dangerous laxatives, or complicated diets. You need nourishment that works with your body, not against it. Prunes that gently restore regularity. Chia seeds that expand and cleanse the gut. Oatmeal that comforts and heals from the inside out. Sweet potatoes that soothe and energize. And kefir, your gut's best friend. But knowledge only becomes power when you act on it. So, I want to ask you something genuinely. What's the one small change you can commit to starting today? Could it be adding a bowl of warm oatmeal to your mornings? Swapping your usual toast for roasted sweet potatoes? Trying kefir instead of sugary yogurt? You don't need to do everything at once. Start with one food. Try it for a few days. See how your body responds. And from there, build your habits step by step. This isn't about perfection, it's about consistency. And progress, at any age, is always possible. Also, I want to hear from you. Your journey, your experience. Have you already been using any of these foods in your routine? What has helped you the most? And what are you willing to try next? Drop a comment below with your story. Share your favorite food from today's list, or ask a question. We're here to support you. Your comment might just help someone else who's going through the same thing. And if this video gave you even one helpful insight, please hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss more life-changing health content made just for you. You've made it this far, and that means something. You care about your health, your comfort, and your future. And that's a beautiful thing. Take care of your body, and it will take care of you. We'll see you in the next video.